All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Nuked it, ate it. Not even close to being done. Inside of the fridge, you know those types of Olive Garden breadsticks? We've got those. I heated 3 of them up in a microwave. They were perfect. Gone. I knocked down 3 of those. Please tell me you iced down a bowl of fucking Frosted Flakes, too, says Chris. Okay, Jimmy Dean sausage, croissant, egg, cheese sandwich. 3 Olive Garden breadsticks within 90 seconds. Then it was time for the cereal. 3 bowls of Honey Nut Cheerios. And then did I have ice cream after that? I don't think I did. But nevertheless. And Tyler says, surely those massive spikes in blood sugar are totally fine. Yeah, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because today my body paid me back. And I was warned, yeah, this is what's going to happen to you. The amount of pressure that was on my midsection, I almost did not make it to the bathroom. So there needs to be a change. I need to start doing this more sensibly. Like fasting is fine, but I think I need to eat throughout the day, though. And so not that long of a fast, because then I'm so ravished that I lose my mind. It needs to be more sensible. That's not going to work for me. All right, I want to update Pooh Bear's fundraiser. And I don't remember the address. I just saw that in the chat, the world famous John Jamingo just weighed in. I guess he sent some money along. Let's see. Thank you for that, by the way. Where is it? Where the fuck is it? Yeah, I'm struggling. Pooh Bear's fundraiser. So she wants the trophy. She said she's got $953 donated. Now, actually, she told me she's north of 1,000, but I don't know how that is. $953. She needs to beat Carrie Cossin, who has 1,100, so she is behind. Rachel, her friend Rachel, gave $25. John Jamingo gave $1 and said, "Get well, Benny the One-Eyed Wonder Dog." Michael Pellerito donated another $1 in memory of Boomer Bob. Outstanding. Elise donated $10. Thank you. Rainbow Flag Jeremy donated $25. And Katie Cool McCurdy donated $50. Thank you to all of you for supporting Pooh Bear's charity Polar Bear Plunge. There she is. What a saint. Tyler says plumbing sponsor incoming after EZ blows up the toilet. Oh, Jesus, you are not kidding. All right, so that's what's up right now. If you feel so inclined, I will post the link in the Twitch stream. And yeah, because she said she wants a trophy. And it's all for a great cause. Special Olympics. Awesome. Thank you to her. Thank you to you. She will do a formal thank you on our Facebook page. You're all too kind. Let's see. There was a bus driver who gave a bunch of kids. Okay, this is local. Bus driver gave candy away to the kids, like Christmas time, Halloween. the bus driver would say, hey, if you want a bag of candy, you can take a bag of candy. The kids get a bag of candy. And then they would open up the bag, and there'd be candy in there. And then she would write notes like, Jesus loves you. And the school fired her because she wrote, Jesus loves you, and put it in the bag. And so now she's suing for religious discrimination. Now, on its face, I don't think that that's going to work. I think that because I don't think you can bring. Isn't this like part of that prayer in school thing? That's not allowed. You're not allowed to say prayers in school, or else you get suspended. So basically, you can go to school and you can beat up some chick walking down the hall, and that's okay. But if you say I love baby Jesus in the school, or Jesus loves you, you are going to get fired or suspended. I think that that's what we're dealing with. And I think that that's important to, if you do that, I mean, as much as I love Jesus, I think that if you do say, I love baby Jesus, that you should be fired. Because I don't want anything to get in the way of teaching the kids, okay? We got to focus on the important things. And because if you say, I love baby Jesus, or Jesus loves you, you then have to say that all these other, I mean, that's going to be a real logistic nightmare. If they get on the bus, here's your candy with its Jesus message. This is candy with Buddha message. This is for my Jewish students. And here's for the Muslims. Hindus are over here. So you got all these different bags. That's the only way you can do this. Or just don't put the message in there. I don't know. Maybe just say it. Hey, Jesus loves you. But that you can probably get in trouble too, because the student is probably going to shoot video of you saying Jesus loves you. And then they're going to post it to TikTok, and it's going to go viral, and you're going to get canceled for saying Jesus loves you. Because that's cancelable. If you say Jesus loves you very much and try to, he was the Prince of Peace and he loves you, have a blessed day, fired. You're on TikTok, 800 million people watch it. You're probably going to end up unaliving yourself because of your hateful message of saying that Jesus loves you. That's what's happening here. You can say prayers in school. The school can't make you. You can say prayers in school. The school can't make you say a prayer. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, maybe. But so she got fired. The bus driver got fired, and now she's suing. I think if I'm the school, whatever, have you ever done this where somebody does something and you kind of act like you didn't see it? I think we need to get back to that. Where if something happens and you just, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to pretend I didn't see it. And nobody will know. If no one noticed that you saw it, you need to do that. Like I've got this scenario going on right now with one of my 8 million jobs. In one of my 8 million jobs, in one of those jobs, there is a supervisor who just got in big trouble. Not so much like legal trouble, and I guess not even so much as work trouble, but just trouble. Now, I am aware of the trouble, but I'm going to act like I don't know it exists. So when I see this person, I'm going to be like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Good to see ya. You doing okay? All right, see you later. Fuck that. I'm not getting involved. This is the first time that I have done this. Typically, I dive in. Rebecca says, bah, ha, ha, this is the new EZ. I'm proud of you for playing dumb about this. And a lot of you, especially the folks on Twitch, know what is going on. I alluded to it yesterday, but I didn't really tell you specifically. I won't do it because, again, live for another day. Playing dumb is an important skill. So I will absolutely be doing that. And I think that if you have the opportunity to let that happen, let it happen. Play dumb. You don't know what happened. It's going to make for better moments in time. And I know I heard from several people that said, what are you alluding to? And I actually directed them to what I was alluding to. You can find it. You just got to look hard enough. You'll figure it out. The puzzle pieces will fit on their own. But I know for a fact that there are people behind the scenes who are paying attention to what I am doing so that to see if I'm addressing this or not. And fuck that. I'm not doing it. I'm not touching it. For once, I'm staying away from any type of drama. Piano Finger Banger says, more yoga time. Damn, you must be stressed. Oh, I'm always stressed lately. This whole Benny thing has stressed me out so bad. New Becca is here. We haven't talked to New Becca since the first time she was here a couple of weeks ago. By the way, I did not respond to that very nice email that you sent me, and I'm glad to see you here because seeing you here reminds me I need to respond to that. You sent a fantastically detailed email about who she is, and she's one of our now 3 members of the audience with the same name on Twitch. A kid on the bus gave my son a pocket knife in first grade. My son got caught with the knife. The bus driver handed it to me and let it slide. Could have been expelled because of the other kid. Exactly. You see, that's a seasoned bus driver right there. I would think that if you're the school, you got to turn a blind eye to this. Because good bus drivers are hard to find. And let's be honest here. They put up with so much shit. I mean, nobody wants that job. It's a hell of a lot better than Mr. Nowicki when I was a kid, who he drove the bus, and he was also a customer on my paper route. Now, the thing about Mr. Nowicki is he was an asshole on the bus, and he was an asshole each week when I would go to collect. And I think his brain was mush. Because if I collected, okay, so you would collect for the paper on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you don't know, each week the paper boy, me, has to go door to door and get them to pay me $1.25 for 7 days of the paper. If everybody pays, I wind up with $30-40 in my pocket after I pay my paper bill. The problem is with Nowicki, if you go there on a Friday, you have to go the next week on a Friday. If you go like on a Friday and he's not there, and then Saturday you bang on the door again and he's not there, and then Sunday he pays you for the previous week, and then you wait 5 days, you start again on Friday. I go back to his door, and this time he answers. Mr. Nowicki, collect, Macomb Daily. I just paid you. You paid me for last week. I gave you a receipt because you tear off a little thing on the collection card. This is your receipt, proof that you paid. I go get it. I'm 10. Fuck. Every time. And then on the bus, asshole. He would actually pull it over to scream at people. That's what happens if you have to replace wonderful, sweet bus drivers who give free candy with a message that says, "I love Jesus loves you." By the way, Blue State Rob is here. He said, or Roo State Blob, off topic, but I just got boned $178 by Big Vet. For what? $178. That sounds like a bargain. All right, anyway, this chick, hey, get your free candy. Jesus loves you.
A former Mattawan bus driver is suing the school district, alleging that she was wrongfully terminated after passing out holiday candy bags to students on her bus.
News 8's Josh Sanchez has more on what the lawsuit claims.
In a lawsuit filed in December, Sarah Robinson claims that her civil rights were violated after she was fired from her bus driving job.
Speaking of violating civil rights, let's turn to Josh Sanchez.
Her rights were violated after she was fired from her bus driving job for giving out candy to students that sometimes contain religious messaging. The 12-page complaint says that the Mattawan Consolidated Schools bus driver, Sarah Robinson, was fired last April following a few occasions where she gave out candy bags to students ahead of holidays like Halloween and Christmas. While Robinson did not speak with News 8 on camera, she says she was representing herself in the suit. In the document, she says
she's her own lawyer.
Some of the candy bags contained brief Christian messages, while others did not. She said that students were not pressured to take the gift bags and were told they could decline. Quote, participation was always voluntary, and students could choose to take an alternative bag containing no religious message or a Jewish-themed bag for her Jewish student.
Boy, I was kidding when I made that crack about all the different bags, but she actually did go the extra mile. Okay, so she's got Jesus-y bag, non-denomination, or no Jesus, no religion, and Jewish-themed bag. She worked hard at this.
The suit says that in November 2024, her supervisor said she could continue passing out the bags as long as it was optional. In January last year, the district superintendent reversed the guidance, the lawsuit claims. A key part of the suit centers around a week-long investigation process, in which the suit said Robinson was questioned repeatedly and was treated as if any wrongdoing was intentional. The suit claims that bus camera footage was not reviewed and presses that the gift bags were voluntary and that parents were present at the time. Among the 10 counts,
and many thanked her, it said,
alleged against the district, superintendent, and assistant superintendent, the lawsuit claims that Robinson faced religious discrimination, was penalized for exercising her religion, and denied due process. The superintendent says that the district does not comment on pending litigation. According to online court records, a response deadline is set for tomorrow.
I don't know if they should have in the lawsuit she wasn't allowed to express her religious freedom. I think she has enough with all of the other things. I don't know if you want to bog this down. I'm not a legal expert. I mean, I am. I'm an expert on everything. But it sounds weird when you throw that into it. I think the problem is the school is a bunch of assholes. What? In a day and an age where it's kind of hard to find quality people, or else you get stuck with Mr. Nowicki, that fucking asshole. Why would you give this woman a hard time? Just leave her be. So basically, nowhere in that story did it indicate that parents complained. It's some asshole who is in charge of the school district first said, yeah, it's no problem, then said, no, you can't, for some reason. And then obviously she kept doing it. And then, boom, the next thing you know, she's fucking fired, and all she wants to do is drive the kids to school and give them a little bit of candy. Probably an old-timer, doesn't have a lot going on. And here you are, just screwing shit up for her because you're some idiot. Oh, my God. People fucking suck. Rob says, follow-up visit for spine exam. Puppy is happier than if I gave him steak. Tyler says chump change compared to EZ's vet bills. Oh, yeah, I'm probably on the hook for another 1,000 plus today. Chris says it'd be great if they interviewed her and she was just laying out obscenities. This is fucking bullshit. Rebecca says, I was under the impression that as long as it wasn't mandatory and that things were options for other religions, no religion, then it was okay. I'm on the teacher's side with this one. You mean the bus driver? Bread Bull Brain Chris says, that's the bottom line. People just suck. People are assholes. Maureen says, I just remembered the wonderful bus drivers we had as kids. Mr. Schmidt and Mrs. McCrum. Lovely. Mrs. McCrum? Her name's Mrs. McCrum. That sounds like the name of, that's like a fake name on a Saturday Night Live bit who's not so nice. Speaking of which, I spoke for 30 minutes yesterday. I did a podcast with Christian Blatt, the multi-talented Christian Blatt, who I've been doing a show with him for 3 years now, called Who Are These Broadcasters, part of the Who Are These Podcasters network, I guess. And Christian called in a favor to a close friend of his, happens to be Dennis Miller. The Dennis Miller. And we recorded alternate programming for the Super Bowl, in case you aren't interested in Bad Bunny, in case you aren't interested in the all white people only show with Kid Rock, stand by. Kid Rock, Lee Greenwood, Ted Nugent, and anybody else who's fucking nuts. You can watch EZ and Christian Blatt talk to Dennis Miller. So we recorded that yesterday. And he is exactly as I remember him. He's so remarkably smart, and just the actual words that he uses. He's using words that I have barely heard in the English language during just a general discussion about whatever it is that we're talking about. And it was really a sight to behold. If you want to watch this, it is at halftime of the Super Bowl. You head over to the Who Are These Podcasts YouTube channel, and it will start playing right at the start of the halftime show. He revealed to me that there was and Christian, he was talking about how he had a bet for a crab dinner with Dana Carvey on who could write the most ridiculous sketch that A, was not funny, and B, artsy. Who could do the most the most artsy sketch onto the airwaves on Saturday Night Live? Some of you may remember the sketch. It is with the characters Coco, Mishu, and LeBay. And it's fucking ridiculous. And there's nothing funny about Coco, Mishu, and LeBay. Dennis plays Coco. Mishu is played by Carvey. And LeBay is played by Kevin Nealon. I can't even find it right now. Dennis Miller, Coco, Mishu, SNL. I just watched it yesterday. It was a horrible sketch. All right. Anyway, some of you might remember the sketch. Well, it went on the air, and it was horrible. It was a horrible sketch, and it wasn't funny. And so he's laughing all the way because Lorne Michaels said, "Yeah, let's put it on." And so I watched it, and then I texted Christian afterwards. I go, "That wasn't funny at all." He goes, "I know. It's supposed to be that way." And so that's how the level that they were having fun amongst each other. as to who could get the most ridiculous sketch that wasn't actually funny on the air. So they did it. He won the fucking crab dinner. And then I said to him, I go, yeah, I know, but doesn't Lauren have to approve the sketch? He goes, yeah. That's what was so ridiculous about it. I go, that's fucking nuts. Anyway, Dennis Miller is 72 years old, sounds the same, looks the same, and he did it from his house and joined us on the show. You can check it out during halftime of it. Blue State Rob is still talking about his vet bills. He says, my vet bills are 5.52% of what EZ has paid if the total is 10,000 GD. Eric is going to buy another Tesla for someone he knows. Yeah, I mean, honest to God, if I had, I could have paid off my car, Pooh Bear's car, with the amount of vet bills that I've had since October. Tyler says, I'm guessing all current SNL members are doing the same thing because that show is unwatchable now. I will try to find that sketch and put it in the show notes if I remember. Just so you have to watch it under the lens of it's supposed to be not funny. That's what's funny, because they were able to get it on the air to win a bet. All right. Maureen says it just doesn't compare to the old days of SNL. So I'm not really a fan of sketch comedy. I think that it all sucks. Sketch comedy is shitty. Sketch comedy sucks. Improv is worse. Well thought out, well written comedy performed like it's natural is the best. It's the only thing that's satisfactory, in my opinion. Sketch comedy blows. Improv worse. Shit. All of it. Blue State Rob says, perspective. Eric's doing a show with a well-known comedian, while in downtown Grand Rapids, there's a show that's being eaten alive by a dipshit radio coach. Yeah, I don't know if radio coach Tracy Johnson is still affiliated with that show. Radio coaches, and I have dealt with one radio coach. I forgot his name. But Greg loved the idea of a radio coach. What the fuck was his name? And I'm trying to think of it while I talk. That's why I sound like a fucking moron. I don't need his name. I don't even know why I need his name. Greg says, we got to hire this coach. So you pay him like a lot of money. It's probably like $1,000 a month. And I knew it was bad when, okay. Now, if you get hired to be a radio coach, it's very important for you. It's kind of like a fine line. You want to help the show succeed, but you also don't want to offend the coach or the people that are on the show so that they don't like you. So that's tricky. If they believe in you, they'll keep paying you. So you got to be tricky as to what you're telling the radio show. Now, there is nothing I don't know about morning radio. But Greg's not going to listen to me. He wants to hear it from this idiot. This guy, and I don't even remember what the advice was. But for this example, he says, all right, make sure that you tease the next segment appropriately by giving 80% of the story away at the end of the one segment. Then you go to commercial. You've given away most of it. Fill in the blanks in the next segment. It's a way to improve your teasing ability. And so he goes through that. Now, we all know that. At least I do. And so he says that. And then a few weeks pass. And then and all this guy has to do is listen to the show and take notes and then report what he thinks. And then the next time we meet him, he says, hey, I've got some good info to help you succeed. What is it? Well, you got to work on your teasing. And he says like the exact same thing that he said the last time. I don't know if he got his notes mixed up or he forgot that he told us that, but he said word for word the same thing he said the last time. And I remember it hitting our ears at the same time, and my eyes dart over to Greg, and my eyes dart over to Hot Wings, and then I roll my eyes, and then it's like, you're sunk now. I'm not. This is ridiculous. This guy did not last a long time. Finally, moron Greg finally figured out it's not such a great idea to have this dipshit tell us shit that we already know at the same thing every fucking week. Blue State Rob with a joke writes, radio coach, fuck that. He needed a couples counselor. Tyler says if you're consulting, you only want them to succeed a little bit. Just enough so they think their money is paying off, but not enough so that they don't need your services anymore. I would love that job. I'd be excellent at it. Listening to a radio show, but I would only do it if I wasn't relying on the money. I didn't need the money. So that I could say, yeah, hey, this is shitty. Why are you doing this? You know, I wouldn't waste any time. Everything you did in this show sucked. And they all do. Megan says you literally already do this for free beer and hot wings every week. By the way, one thing I did not point out. Alan says, isn't that what you're doing with that new podcast? Yes and no. I don't know. I'm a little concerned with that. It's not growing as quickly as I thought it would. I'm a little worried about that setup. More on that later. It's still the jury is still out. Today is intended to be a Big Fraud Thursday. However, I informed Ben Glaze about this, that if things go south on the Benny front, yeah, it doesn't even have to be that he's, if that does happen to come to pass. I can't, there might just be a lot on my mind. So I will keep you informed. How does that sound? Today is a fluid day. There's a lot of moving parts. Stevie says we get it. Thank you. By the way, a little bit more on the whole Jimingo and Pellerito donating again. That's like, it's kind of like their way to let them know, hey, we're watching, we're paying attention to what you're doing, and it's an interesting bunch over there. I went pretty strong on the Pellerito discussion yesterday, so that's why he is back for yet another donation of $1. So I think what I think we should do? I think we should arrange a fight, because I would love to fight Pellerito. We can arrange celebrity boxing and I've said this before, we could have all of the Zaniacs, and I would punch the shit out of all of those people. I can fight Pellerito. I can fight Jimingo. I don't know if John's healthy enough to leave like the community he lives in. He's very, very ill. I would fight Andrea. I would fight all of these people. We can make that happen. I think it would be awesome. It would raise so much money. And it's to me, I want the money. If I'm going to fight them, I'm not going to do it for charity. But we should actually host a goddamn war on the floor. It would be awesome. I'd love it so much. Maureen says, don't forget Dean. Oh, of course. Yeah, I'll fight them all. There's about a dozen of them. Some of them have died since the great Zaniac Exodus. But But yeah. Becca Shea says the money can go towards your vet bills. I won't do it for any less than $10,000. And I get all the money. They don't get any money because I'm the draw. Nobody gives a shit who these people are. They only give a shit who I am. Bob says you'll beat Dean. Blue State Rob says you'll beat Dean because he'll be too busy staring at your daughters. That's weird. Allegedly. He might. I don't know. I haven't taken the right amount of time to point out my great sponsors. Today, I'd like to shout out Merchant Automotive in Zeeland, Michigan. They will repair your Duramax diesel truck with or without an Allison transmission. Take it there or call them and mention me. Merchant-automotive.com. That is where you go. And you can shop online on their website. Look on it. They have a number of kits that you can purchase to help your DIY project on your truck. Merchant-automotive.com. They are in Zeeland, Michigan, just to the west of me here. Patrick says the way Zane talks about Jamingo and the Zaniacs is how Trump rips apart his foes. I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to get to Trump. Trump is, in this clip, he is talking to reporter Caitlin Collins from CNN. She is asking about justice for Epstein survivors. And it goes bad. It goes poorly. This is how it unfolds.
Time for the country to get onto something else, really. Now that nothing came out about me, other than there was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people. But I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else.
Well, what would you say to people
like
who feel like they haven't gotten
healthcare,
justice, Mr. President?
something that people care about. Yeah, what did you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to the survivors who feel like they've gotten
You are the
justice?
worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. She's a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've ever seen a smile in
I'm
your
asking
face.
you about survivors.
You know why? You know why you're not
She's like, I'm asking you about survivors. Why would I smile?
smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth. And you're a very dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
Survivors of sexual abuse or health care.
They should be ashamed of you. Okay, that's rough. And then he doesn't even answer the question. He just turns to somebody else. Okay, now, that feeling that a good portion of the people in the chat feel right now, they're pissed. They are not happy with that. And then probably, I would say more people probably aren't happy with that than there are people that are like, yeah, that's awesome. Now, I get what he's doing. He is trying to move on about Epstein. Now, I have no idea if Trump did anything with Epstein or did not do anything with Epstein. I don't know. It's not clear at all. There is no smoking gun as of right now. A lot of people think that he may have, or at the very least is protecting pedophiles. That's the thing now. So she's asking a question that he's not having. Now, if it were me, I would just answer it. I would just say, well, okay, yeah, this is what I think about survivors, and then say something, whatever, kick that can down the road. But that is not in his makeup. He would rather fight with you, which I can't say that I hate. I mean, I love fighting myself. You understand that him and I are not that different. Now, I am not being accused of being a pedophile protector, but I do understand the whole thing about, okay, fuck you.
Yeah, what do you...
I'll tell you what. For a second, let's, everybody who's enjoying the show, assume that he had nothing to do with anything terrible. Now, if that's you, and they still are trying to pin it on you, I mean, I would be pissed too.
What would you say to people who
Like
feel like they haven't gotten
healthcare
justice, Mr. President?
Something that people care about. Yeah, what do you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to
are
the
so
survivors?
bad.
I like how he says, go ahead, and then he tells her how terrible she is.
What do you say? Go ahead.
What would you say to
are
the
so
survivors
bad.
who feel like they haven't gotten
You are the
justice?
worst reporter. No wonder CNN has no ratings because of people like you. You know,
You
she's
got to have thick skin to be a White House reporter these days.
a young woman. I don't think I've ever seen you smile. I've known you for 10 years. I don't think I've
Now, in her defense, I wouldn't smile at that job. I would just do my job. That doesn't mean I have to smile, right? I don't want to fucking smile all the time. I don't smile when I do this job. What does that have to do with it? That's a fucking stupid crack. He was doing fine when he said, by the way, you're terrible.
never seen a smile
Well,
in
I'm
your
asking
face.
you about survivors.
You know why? You know why you're not smiling? Because you know you're not telling the truth, and you're a very
You're not smiling because you know you're not telling the truth?
dishonest organization, and they should be ashamed of you. Okay, go ahead.
Survivors.
Okay. He kind of makes that shit up as he goes along. Becca Shea says, I'm not smiling because you're an asshole. I don't think she can get away with that then. Rebecca says, never tell a woman to smile, ever. You know, I've heard that. I think there was one time I made the mistake of telling Stevie to smile, and I think I got in big trouble. Bread Bowl Brain Chris says he's telling her why she's not smiling. Because she's dishonest. You're not smiling because you're lying. What? And when I'm telling the truth, I'm smiling then? This continued because the next thing you know, where is it? God, I had it and then I lost it. Okay, this is J.D. Vance with Megyn Kelly. And they are talking about that moment with Caitlin Collins.
I mean, like, there was a moment in the Oval Office, I wasn't even in there, but, you know, I was in the West Wing, and somebody sent me where he was talking to Caitlin Collins, who's the CNN anchor. And I have, like, a decent relationship with Caitlin Collins, which is unusual given that she's from CNN. But the president, she's asking a question. The president says, why don't you ever smile?
Yeah.
And it's actually, like, so perceptive. Even if you're asking a tough question, even if you take your job very seriously, like, why does it always have to be so antagonistic?
Well, I laughed because I saw online everybody was calling him sexist for saying that. And I literally said the same thing about Caitlin Collins a year ago on my show. She never smiles. Every once in a while, you have to smile. Roger Ailes used to tell us that. Every once in a while, you get remember to smile, show
Just
the viewers that you have a heart.
Have some fun.
Yeah, well, she's the reporter. She's not like on camera. She's asking him questions. I don't know if I can get behind the idea of smiling considering the subject matter. This person writes, she was asking about child rape, but sure, have some fun. Ha ha! Hey, Mr. President. Hey, ha ha ha! Hey, what do you think about the survivors? You know those kids who were raped. Ha 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 ha! Ha. Yeah. I mean, come on now. Piano Finger Banger says LMAO. Oh, he's so perceptive. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I think he's just kind of. He's always defensive. That's what that is. Murder Lover Linda says, didn't Roger Ailes sexually harass Megyn Kelly? I don't know. I don't know who that is. I've heard that name, but I couldn't tell you. I don't follow that. That's weird. If that's the case, the whole thing is weird. It's all fucked up, honestly. I mean, wouldn't it be something? I guess my question is, if you're the president of the United States, why can't you be a badass and not antagonize? Like, honestly, kind of like what that guy that we played who had that great point about enforcing the law on illegal immigration. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, I guess. I mean, I get it. Why can't you just be strong, to the point, and not be a cocksucker? So, well, they were a cocksucker first to him. Okay, great. Let's see how far you can take this if you just behave like a human being while you're doing what you intended to. You can still do what you wanted to do, all right, and not be a cocksucker all the goddamn time. Why do you always have to be an asshole about it? I mean, take it from me, all right? That's why people tell me how fair I am and how not antagonizing that I am. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, because political parties have taught us you have to pick a side and go hard to that side. Well, that's stupid. That's a dumb way of looking at it. You know, you can sit there and be as tough as nails about whatever it is you want to be tough about. Doesn't matter, whatever your platform is. Okay? And then just not be an asshole. Megan is 100% right. She sees the German Shepherd / Beagle / Basset Hound face and head of our very own O'Neill. He is here right now because he has to go potty. So I will conclude because he has to go. I have to keep petting him or else he's going to get pissed off because when he has to go, he likes to know that I'm here. All right. Before I wrap this up, though, I do want to share a big thank you to Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. If you get your insurance through the Affordable Care Act, you may have noticed how much your premium has gone up since the law changed on January 1. I don't see that changing anytime soon, so you're stuck paying quite a bit more than you were paying. You need to change your policy to a less expensive one. Doing that is not the easiest thing in the world. Have Frank do it for you. Reach out at appointmentwithfrank.com for folks who get their insurance from the Affordable Care Act. All right. I'm going to leave it right there. Folks, you are great. And I have the asshole of the day. It's Jamingo. Congratulations on your award. Thank you for your thoughts and concerns concerning O'Neill. You just saw that camera shake. Concerning Benny, you just saw O'Neill knock the camera. If you could, please throw a few bucks into Diana's love bucket for the Special Olympics fundraiser. She needs that trophy from Jackrabbit Slims. Thank you very much for being here, folks. I appreciate you so much. I will talk to you a little later on my Patreon bonus podcast. Thank you and good day.